That's great. See, it's all nice and stiff. This is great. All right, the next step is making the control horns. So we're going to take the coat hanger we had from before and our needle nose pliers, and you're just going to want to hold it right about there and just wrap it around as tight as you can. You have to put your finger on there a little bit to help it go around tight. If you have a child doing this, they may need some help, but you just got to sit there and just get it around tight as you can so it kind of comes out looking like that. Okay? And then the way that's going to get joined is I'm going to go and put it, so we're going to set this up for a beginner. So I am doing the closer hole. All right, so this is the beginner setup, and that's there. Coming straight back, we'll just leave that right there. Other coat hanger, snip it. You could conceivably use just one coat hanger here, but things freaking breed in closets, so I don't see any reason to do that. Same thing. We're going to go from the outside to the inside. It's not absolutely required to do it that way. So we're going to do the close-in hole, because this is going to be a beginner setup. There we go. And that's nice. And the nice thing, what I want is a nice tight connection to that servo. Notice nothing's moving. I can't slop around too much. This is a high-quality connection. Okay, so now we need to put in a crucial bend at this point. So we want to power up the radio. All right, remember the rules. Throttle down. Power on for the transmitter. Then we're going to hook up the power to the receiver. Okay, we have nice happy moving things. Confirm again that we have both trims are centered. Now I'm going to do a little adjustment, because what I would like to do is have these be exactly the same. They actually look pretty close to exactly the same. That's canted back just a little bit. Let's go back to the other side. And that looks like that's canted back just a little bit. I like that. That's close enough. So those are perfect. I'm not going to make any trim adjustments. Then we take our pliers again, and this is a critical one, is I want the whole thing flat. If you want, put some weight on the here so that just everything's kind of nice and under control. You can use the transmitters a little bit of weight. I put the pliers right in the hinge and just kind of get them nice and perpendicular, you know, not up by the cutting edge, but just right where it's smooth, okay? And then I'm just going to put it in a 90-degree bend. The only thing that's important here is that I be consistent. So I'm going to do nice and vertical and put it in a 90-degree bend. I don't know if you can kind of see. Let's try to get over there. There we go. Putting in a nice 90-degree bend towards the inside. You'll see why in a second. And that came out nice. That's right on the rear, the edge of the bevel. All right? So I'm going to shoot for the same thing on the other side. Nice 90-degree bend. Nice and vertical looking. Okay, doing it lefty. We just go. And the kid will probably need help with this. It takes a fair amount of hand strength. And that looks pretty good too. That's wonderful. Alright, we have nice straight controls now. Okay, so let's go find that piece of coroplast that we pulled out when we cut out the center. So we'll do about 1.5 inches of it. Make control horns out of. And that's pretty straightforward. I just eyeball that. You know, that looks like about 1.5 inches to me. Just cut it, and then I'll just take it here, cut it here, just score it, and then slit it down the other side. Okie dokie. And then the way the control surface works is that we're going to trim these so that they're about the length of this. So that's right, or a little longer. These are decidedly non-critical measures. I'm going to pick the side that's got the least amount of flute overhang. So that looks like, let's see. Yep, that's it right there. And then I'm going to push this through. You don't want to put it this way, right? That's too loosey-goosey. That's not going to be a controllable surface. It's going to be all nasty. So what you do instead is you push it through the flutes, just kind of like, you know, maybe, I don't know, 1/16 of an inch back. Never had it rip out. And just try to keep it parallel to the front. You see how close it is. I'm just pushing it through. Just letting it, that rough edge of the coat hanger just go through. You can see it come out the other side. And just, back it off a little bit. And there you go. That's going to be our control horn right there. Do the same thing on this side. Find the shorter side. The least amount of overhang. That's got more overhang. You can see. And I don't want that to get all hung up in there, so I'll pick this one. It's not a huge deal. So get about 1/16 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch. I don't know. Something like that. Back. And if you end up putting it too far back, you can just, let me give you a view of me as I push it through. Make it absolutely clear what I'm doing. Okay, there it is. If it's too far up, it doesn't matter. It's the hinge point's what matters. You may have to cut out a little bit here to have it work out or trim it again. That's all fine and good. All right, so what we're going to do here is I've taken my little stampy thing that, I can use this, doesn't matter. Put it underneath this so that I have a nice flat Elvon, and this is nice and straight and perpendicular, so that's all lined up. And then I'm going to attach the control horns, which just go a little bit after that hinge point, a little bit in, and just punch through the whole way into the bit of coroplast I have down below it, all the way through. Really want to go down all the way through. Okay, do the same thing over here. Move this over. See, there's the imprint pattern, but it's allowing me to get really good, clean holes through the whole thing. Same game. Want a nice flat hinge, a nice flat surface. We're going to do something to make those have a little reflex in them in a bit. Go back, see where that is. And then this. And put it in a little bit. I'll try to get it in between the flutes. I think that works better. But again, there's kind of no way to do this wrong. As long as you're fairly accurate. Okay, so now we're going to attach them. Remember, be careful. Don't hit that throttle by mistake, because this is all with the radio live. That's the key. I like to have the big bits always on the back uniformly. It's not required, of course. Come on. Just a tox. Sorry you can't see this. It's just very hard to get those holes through properly. See. Faster. Just kind of re-punching them through. That coroplast does not like to go both ways. There we go. There we go. Okay. Sorry about the crappy angles, guys. It's very hard to shoot from your chest. Okay, work much better on the detail work side of things. Okay, so we have basically an airplane that's doing the right thing. You see that? We'll go into that in a little more detail. Get out the hook and loop tape that you have. And we are going to do the hook side of it. We put on there on the deck. You don't have to do it that way, but if you're flying with us, it's going to work better because that means you can use everybody else's battery packs. So just be consistent, but the hook side is what we have taken as the convention of where we put these. So I'm just putting this pretty far forward because I like to have flexibility where I put my center of gravity. Put cameras on here or anything like that. You want to adjust the center of gravity with camera, with your battery as much as possible. Here's our battery pack. It's still connected. And I'm just going to see if this will peel off, see how this is. That looks pretty. All right, I want that little piece of plastic off, if there is one, because that will peel off and make it, it'll make it less likely for the